Welcome to East Coast Averages, the podcast that brings you stories from everyday people from all around the world. Recorded on the east coast of Australia, I'm your host Nick, and each week we'll sit down with average people who have unique stories to tell. Let's peek over the back fence and see what's happening in other people's lives. I never know what I'm going to discover until I sit down and start chatting to them. All right, today's episode of East Coast Averages is as much about me as it is about my guest Chris, who I spent time in the Navy with, quite a fair bit of time with him in the 6.5 years that I spent in the Navy. I think he spent 7 years in, and we finally got together after 28 years to sit down and have a chat about how we saw what we got up to whilst we were working for the Defence Force. We were on HMAS Tobruk together. We deployed operationally to Operation Solace in Somalia. I think it was 1992, Chris was saying. He's much better at the dates than I am. And it's just basically me and Chris chatting about the stuff we can remember from the Navy. The timelines get a bit fucked up there for a while, but hey, it's been 28 years. Some things I remember a little bit better than Chris. Some things he remembers, well, he fucking remembers heaps more than I do, better than I do anyway. But I guess the episode is just a couple of old blokes now, fucking in their 50s, talking about how they felt back in their 20s when they were in the Defence Force and got sent on some operational service over in Somalia. Chris and I weren't lifers. We both did around 7 years and went on to do other things in our lives. But we look back at that Navy time. Well, I look at my Navy time quite fondly. Everyone I met there. It's sort of shaped me a bit who I am today. So yeah, sit back. Hopefully enjoy a couple of the tales from Chris and I on our Navy adventures. I've got a old mate that I haven't seen for 30 years. I went out for dinner with him the other night, and he's come up to talk to me and you guys today about the time we spent in the Navy together. So I have to say, we had some fucking really good times in the bus. So welcome to the show, Chris.
Pleasure to be here, Nick. Good to see you again. And it's actually 28 years.
Is it 28 years? I thought it was longer.
Not 30.
I thought it was 30. Well,
no.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it was funny, eh? We met up for dinner 2 nights ago and just fucking were cracking up the whole time, eh?
We were. Non-stop laughs.
And
could hardly eat our food.
I didn't want to go into... I could go back and... I was going to go back to see Chris's, I fucking grew up here and fucking went to school there. We're fucking going straight through all that. We're going straight to fucking talking Navy time.
Yep.
Now, what year did you join?
1990.
Yeah, what month?
April 30.
Fuck, man, I joined in May 28th, so I was the next class from you. Yeah.
Yep. I was General Entry 66.
I was 67. Fucking hell. What, Marine Division or some fucking thing? We must have been in recruit school the same time. I don't remember hanging out with you in recruit school.
No, because the classes and the divisions were usually pretty separate.
Pretty separated, yeah. Yeah, so, and same as in comm school. So we went through Chris is a signalman, same as I am. We know fucking Morse code.
Yep, and semaphore, and flashing light.
Flashing lights. Can you remember Morse code?
Definitely.
I can't get it out of my fucking head, eh? And when I get bored and I'm driving down the road, I actually change number plates to Morse code.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
I get a torch and do it with the torch at night and pretend I'm doing signalling to another ship.
It's when the fucking yowies signal back to you, mate.
Yeah, and if the shit ever hits the fan and the comms go down, they'll be looking to us to...
Yeah, we'll be out there.
Yep.
Fucking waving
secret
flags.
Communicators.
So we met up. We served together on Tobruk. So you went to comm school, then went to a place called HMAS Tobruk, which is Command, Naval, Supply.
Yep.
That was it, wasn't it?
Remington Building opposite Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Very interesting place.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad a place to work, eh?
Yeah.
It was a bit strange on fucking night shifts.
It was a bit strange for a seaman straight out of comm school because our training was the longest of any of the branches, 8 months. 8 months training.
It was a fucking long course, eh?
Yep. Longest training to qualify and then the least qualifications when you left the Navy.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's our fucking qualifications, man? They're non-existent.
If you go up to someone and have a job interview and tell them you can do semaphore and Morse code, they'll probably look at you like you've just landed in the nearest spaceship.
Like you got fucking 2 heads. Yeah, fuck. So did you like recruit school?
I did.
I fucking loved it, eh?
Yeah, I liked the regimented activities and I liked meeting all the people. And I was 16 when I joined, so it was all very, I wouldn't say confronting, but it was pretty full on.
So you're on, yeah, so I turned 18, I think, 4 weeks in to recruit school.
Yeah.
And you know what, man, I look back at fucking pictures of us back in the day and I think, fuck, my fucking old man signed me over to the military.
Yep.
Looking that young, like, fuck, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I know. And we looked even younger when you got in there because they shave all your hair off. So,
Yeah, so you went through comm school, then you went to HMAS. What was your first?
Tobruk was my first ship.
When you went to Russia on...
Oh, the HMAS Sydney. Yeah, we went to Vladivostok.
Now, nobody can fucking get nervous, all right, because the Australian government wasn't fucking sending their communication sales over there to sell fucking state secrets. They went for a goodwill visit or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a goodwill visit. It was the first Australian Navy ship that had been to a Russian port for, I think, 50-odd years. So...
Yeah, that would have been a mad trip to fucking be on, eh?
Yeah, that was an eye-opening trip. That was awesome.
Because you would have been 17 then?
No, I was 21 because remember we had my 21st at the start of 95.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah.
Was that when you went to Russia?
Yeah.
I thought you went to Russia before Tobruk.
No.
Oh, well, I've got it all fucking wrong because I thought you'd already been to Russia when we went on Tobruk.
No, I was on the HMAS Newcastle and we were doing Kangaroo 95, which is a big exercise.
Yeah, they still do them now, yeah.
Yeah, up in Darwin, and then this opportunity came up to... But no, I had an opportunity to swap onto the Sydney from the Newcastle for a 4-month trip up to Southeast Asia, Japan and Russia. So I jumped at the chance. And the guy I swapped with wanted to come home to be with his... partner because there were family things going on and whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just do as much sea time as I could possibly do. And that's what I achieved in my 7 years in the Navy.
Yeah, yep. I was happy when I was on Sydney and we fired a missile. I felt like, I actually remember thinking I could leave the Navy now because I fucking seen a missile get shot. Well, there was a couple of things I wanted to do. Yep. And when on Tobruk, when we went overseas in Africa, and that ticked the box of doing... Because I remember a bloke at Commos Navsap, he said he'd been in past fucking 6.5 years and never left the fucking East Australian exercise area.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, and he'd been in 6 years, I wouldn't fucking cop that. I'd have been pushing to get a sea draft to go somewhere.
Yeah. I know a similar guy, same thing. He posted onto a ship that was in refit for like 3 years.
Oh,
a destroyer escort, and he didn't even sail once.
His whole Navy career.
No.
Yeah, see, that's piss poor planning from the fucking... You know, they want you to stay in the Navy for 20 years.
Yeah, but I think he was happy about it because he didn't really want to go out to sea.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But why would you join the Navy if you didn't want to do sea time?
Or if you had a saltwater activated fucking personal problem.
Yeah, well, not only that, the money's great. The money's great for going out to sea. So anyone out there that's younger and is thinking about a career change, I'd definitely look into the Navy because
it was good fun.
Changed a lot since we were in, but it's still a great job. It's still...
Yeah, I think, I know someone in the Navy now, they don't even fucking cook them lunch anymore on the ships.
Really?
Yep. They don't live on board anymore. When you're alongside, you got fucking, you got rental assistance, and they don't even make your lunch.
Really? Oh, no. That was the best part.
The best part was the fucking alongside, man.
Besides, it wasn't called lunch anyway, mate, as you should call
be
it.
Scran.
Scran.
Yeah. What's that fucking stand for anyway?
Shit cooked by the Royal Australian Navy.
Oh.
And can I just say that when
hardest course in the Navy, no one's ever fucking passed it.
Oh, no. When you go to Cerberus, HMAS Cerberus, and do scullery, you've got to, wash pots that could probably fit a person in it.
I don't reckon they fucking have to do that anymore.
No,
I bet the New World Order, you don't fucking go and scrub pots.
Well, it's all contract. It's all contractors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the cooks still cook on board the ship when they're at sea, but I think when you're alongside, it's all contractors now.
No fucking sizzling steak at HMAS Watson?
No.
Or fucking 3 skewies. 3 skewies in a steak at lunchtime?
No. Well, yeah.
And a couple of ciggies.
Remember, we used to get into Rockers or Bell's Hotel or any one of those pubs down along the wharf.
Yeah, good stuff. So anyway, I met Chris and we didn't really hang out prior to fucking getting on Tobruk. But what was that night on the piss where I got really fucking drunk one night? And actually, I don't know if I should tell. This is a balls and all fucking podcast. I shit me pants in the fucking pub. All right. I was too drunk. I shit me pants. I sung fucking Heartbreak Hotel on karaoke. You were on that. You were out that night.
Yeah.
That was before Tobruk, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to help you home.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, that was a fair fucking skid mark on my undies that morning. I think I actually threw them out.
Yeah, there was
along with
no
the
other
jeans.
option, mate. You wouldn't try and rescue that.
So anyway, Chris and I hung out heaps, and like we basically fucking lived in each other's pocket.
Yep.
Not fucking like you hear the stories. Fucking don't want to hear any stories about if I could go and have a look in the fucking Golden River, right? There was none of that happening.
There was no soap on the road.
Nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Everyone should do what they need to do. So anyway, Chris and I hung out fucking heaps on HMAS Tobruk. And thankfully, because I don't know if they still put it out, but remember, what did they call the fucking program that used to come out? The fleet fucking, you could...
Oh, workups?
No, it had a book of where all the ships were going for that year.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what they called it, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Tobruk wasn't... I remember getting posted to Tobruk. And
I got posted there first.
Yeah.
And then you came a week or two later.
Yeah. And I remember going home to Endeavour House where they used to put us up at Coogee.
That's right.
And I was just thinking, fuck yeah, I'm going to see you, beauty. And then I thought, yeah, it's not a fucking worry because Tobruk is like a fucking merchant. But I remember one day in a big storm, the skipper said to the engineer, fuck, I need more power, Captain. And he basically said, it's not a fucking worry, it's a fucking merchant ship.
With a flat bottom.
Yeah, we don't have any more fucking power.
It was a logistics ship.
Yeah. So that was that big cyclone marine off Darwin. That time we had the pontoon on the left-hand side.
Yep.
And they had all the ballast water on the starboard side and they were fucking crawling around putting more chains on it.
Yep.
Because if it snapped and fell off, guess what we were doing? Bloop.
Rolling over.
Yeah.
But we did go to Darwin about 40 times and we did go to Townsville about 60 times.
60 million times.
Because that was our main job, was transporting 1st Royal Australian Regiment around the coast to different operations. And that was awesome, I have to say. That was probably the first year was pretty much, apart from that South Pacific trip we did, that was what we did, wasn't it? We carted around Army.
Yeah.
Because on the Tobruk there were troops messes down below and you could fit 600 soldiers as well as the 220 crew. So...
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time in Cairns. I fucking hate Darwin. It's too hot in Darwin. Nice place. Yeah. Fucking the heat just kills me, eh?
Well,
the fucking 8 metre tide, you'd leave the ship, the gangway, be going straight up. You come back. Yeah. You fucking, it's like fucking...
Yeah, you'd have to do a combat roll to get back down it.
Yeah.
And there was every 5 minutes walking up to the hill from Stokes Hill Wharf, you used to have to run and duck for cover from the monsoon showers. Yeah. It was insane.
Fucking hot, man. The heat was just fucked. I hate the humidity. Remember that time we were coming in there was a massive wind and I thought, fuck, we're going to fucking hit the dock here.
Yeah.
Skipper, to his credit, man, I'm thinking we're fucked.
Put the reverse thrusters on.
We're fucked. And next thing you know, pulled in perfectly.
Yeah. They were very good at doing that, the officers of the Navy, like parking the ship. So I only ever remember one incident.
Berthing the ship, mate.
Yeah. And, berthing the ship. Let's use the right terminology. But, there was one incident where the ship hit the wharf, I think it was in Gladstone or Mackay. And, there had to be a report written on a tiny little bump. It was just a slight bump.
Yeah, well, I'm just going forward a bit. I was on HMAS Sydney. We came back from just off Jarvis Bay doing exercises and whatnot. Anyway, so we've pulled up alongside, I think it was HMAS Adelaide or Darwin. So we've tied onto it. And the skippers said, put the fucking power down to the engine room. Like they transfer all the power down to the stokers in the bottom because no one's on the bridge anymore.
Yep.
Anyway, so someone's fucking put it in forward. And I remember sitting on the flag deck and the port fucking bridge wings bending as we're like fucking chugging forward and you hear everyone screaming, fuck, put it fucking port, take her out of gear.
Well, those ships could do a crash stop, remember? They could stop within the FFGs could stop within 2 boat lengths. So
that was cool ship. And actually coming into Melbourne one time, they probably did you get in trouble for talking about this shit?
Not at all.
I was on watch on HMAS
30 years
Sydney.
ago. I don't think it's going to affect anything.
I'm looking at HMAS, the fucking new Melbourne, HMAS Melbourne 05, and it was pretty new.
Yep.
We're coming into Melbourne through fucking you go through the head, it takes you out to get in, and it's fucking run over a starboard fucking navigation buoy. I'm standing there watching it, and I'm thinking it's going to fucking hit that. Yep. It's going to fucking hit it. And the next thing you know, it's hit this fucking starboard navigation buoy and it's disappeared under the ship. And the officer watch I said, did you see that, sir? He goes, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
and
I felt it too.
That's all I fucking know about that incident. I didn't hear anyone talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
But I thought they would have fucking felt that when they built it.
I'd say that those things would be built pretty robust because that would probably happen.
Yeah, but I don't think the skipper would be too happy when he heard a fucking clang on the front of his brand new ship.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that would have been some trouble. But anyway, so we'll go back to HMAS Tobruk and the occasionally fuck ups that took place on boats, ships. So we're on Tobruk. We're heading in and out of Townsville, Darwin, all the fucking time. Cairns, liked Cairns.
Whitsundays.
Remember we would sail through the Whitsundays?
Yep.
Because now we have to explain to the fucking thousands of fucking listeners, merchant vessels aren't allowed between the reef and the coast. They go out further out to sea.
Yep.
If they do, they've got to have a pilot on board.
Yep.
Navy ships can sail through the Whitsundays, but they've got to be at what they call anchor watch or something. Like they've got to turn to. So you've got guys sitting on the front of the ship who, if they lose engines, drop the anchor so we don't fuck the reef or anything like that.
Yep. Actually, our first port was called the Island in Whitsundays. Remember that?
Fuck, I don't even fucking remember. I don't remember it, eh? No, I remember the name, but I fucking, my memory's fucked.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a port. We just dropped anchor and went down the back because Tobruk had bow doors and stern doors, could open and close in like front and back. But on board we had what were called larks, which were drivable car boat type things from the army.
Like army ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all loaded up into these larks, and I remember all these holiday honeymooners are all sitting on this beach enjoying their time. Next minute, here comes the Navy. Woo-hoo! We're all hanging off the side, and it didn't pull alongside the sand or anything. We just drove straight out of the water onto the sand. And that was an awesome night. There was a guy there doing fire displays, and there was fires all along the beach. And I'm thinking, this is great.
But was that on our way to the Solomons?
Yeah, no. This was our first trip up to Townsville.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
remember, my memory's fine. I don't fucking.
Yeah, we did a South Pacific trip and went to New Zealand, Vila, and then the Solomons.
For the Guadalcanal 50 year anniversary.
Battle of Guadalcanal, which sadly I found out later that my grandfather, Ash, was a signalman on the HMAS Canberra at the time of the battle, and that's why we went there to lay a wreath at the site where they had to scuttle the Canberra, because there were quite a few crew members killed during the engagement with the Japanese, and that was a really sad, big missed opportunity for me not to have him on board, because we actually did have
we took a few guys with us, eh?
Yeah. So my grandfather never really spoke much about his Navy service, but he did 7 years as well. And, he saw a lot of action in World War II, and that was one of the engagements that he was involved in.
Yeah.
And I later spoke to a high-up officer at one of the Freedom of Entry marches we did, and he was really interested in my grandfather's service because he'd just read the book on the Canberra. So I got called into this big tent and had to speak to a commanding officer and tell him all about it. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So I was just thinking at the time the commanding officer kicked us off that Japanese boat.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking slobs.
I know. You're like, get off. Go back.
Well, what's going on?
Yeah, that was in...
How did we end up in the fucking wardroom anyway? A couple of lowly fucking seamen, mate.
Somehow we'd always find a way to skulk on board foreign ships. Remember on the way over there, that was our first big international trip, and like before, as we said, Tobruk being a flat-bottom ship, didn't do real well in rough weather going over on the Tasman.
Yeah.
So we were rocking from side to side and back to front, and the wind was howling that fiercely. I remember Nick and I were standing up on top of the flag deck with these foul weather jackets on, and we could actually stand at a 45-degree angle with the wind holding us up. I've got photos of all that.
Excuse me real quick whilst I drop an ad on you, and then we'll be back to the show. Hey, East Coast Average listeners. If you're a cat lover searching for a T-shirt that combines creativity with style, check out graphicoasisco.com. There you'll find unique designs featuring whimsical cats, steampunk themes and inspirational quotes. Each shirt there is made with vibrant colours, sharp lines, and you'll look fantastic while showcasing your personality. So go and visit graphicoasisco.com and use East Coast Averages at checkout to get 15% off your first order. Elevate your wardrobe with graphicoasisco.com. Let your shirt do the talking. Yeah, it was good. It was fucking good stuff, eh?
Yeah.
And you know, that's what I really liked when you got on the ship, you went through the fucking heads. There was no mobile phones.
No.
You didn't see TV. You didn't hear the news. You didn't read newspapers.
Got letters.
It was just fucking.
Yeah.
It was just us hanging out and fucking having fun.
Got letters usually.
Well, we weren't having fun. We were fighting a war.
Yeah.
We were fighting battles.
Oh, we were just serving our country. And we were, you'd get letters that were usually laced in perfume if you were lucky enough. So the mail would rock up and the post guy, the post sailor would be like, someone's got a nice romantic letter here.
But anyway, I got a fucking caramel slice one time and I gave some to the fucking QM, to the, the dude on the bridge who's in charge of the piping system. What do they call him? The fucking quartermaster.
Oh, yeah, quartermaster.
Yeah, so anyway, I give it to the quartermaster and he's eating it and he comes over to me, he pulls the fucking hair out of it. He says, this has got a pube in it, Spike. I think this bit's meant for you.
No, it was funny, the quartermaster, because that was our job. We had to be up on watch with the quartermaster being the signalman and be front and ready to communicate with any ships.
Except we'll buy ourselves most of the fucking
And we were like still young, able seamen. And we were kind of still figuring it all out.
Yeah, it was good.
Probably takes about, 6 months on a ship to really get the feel of where everything is and how to go up and down the ladders safely. And
then when we pulled in New Zealand, I was on watch and I got in trouble because the New Zealand Navy came up behind us. And I'm fucking telling you, the officer of the watch was on the fucking bridge wing with me, right? So then someone, I think the yeoman came up and said, I've got fucking 2 New Zealand ships coming up behind us.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking knows they're there.
You were looking front ways. You were looking forward,
I was thinking about going on the piss and I got me fucking leave cancelled that night.
Oh, mate.
Fucking
That's a tragedy.
I got fucking gypped is what I did.
Yeah, I remember you went on leave for some reason and it was my job to put the Australian national flag up because we were at anchor. And the halyard got stuck at half mast. So the yeoman boned me in and said that wouldn't have happened if Spike was on board.
Yeah, see, because I was a fucking gun, mate.
So I felt like about that big, but
I put Comfleet's fucking pennant upside down once. Fucking lost leave that night too.
We're supposed to be trained professionals, mate.
That's a fucking rip-off is what it was. So we spent a lot of time in Cairns and then we came back to Sydney and it was coming up to Christmas and we got this fucking call. And we were supposed to be going to Adelaide for Stubbo's wedding.
Yep.
And we're all in his wedding party. So he's got his fucking poor wife.
Whole wedding's planned.
His future fiance has planned this fucking big wedding in Adelaide. We're all heading down Murray Bridge. He wouldn't mind us mentioning him, I don't think.
No.
So we're all heading down to Murray Bridge for his wedding. We're all got our fucking ice cream suits fucking
hired and
no, we were going in uniform.
We were going to be in uniform. That's right.
So we got airfares fucking booked.
Yep.
And we get a message. Fucking, your memory's probably better than mine. How did we get told?
It was kind of like the beginning of December. There were rumours starting to appear about this multinational task force going to Somalia. Oh, I can see you, Tobruk.
The picture
there, by the way.
And that's HMAS Yarra. My dad was on. A guy by the name Joe Penn, who's a well-known artist, was in the Navy with Dad, and he painted that picture for him.
Lovely. I love naval art.
Yeah, so do I actually.
But it was kind of early December and there were rumours happening and then we were like, nah, we're not going to be going anywhere. Everyone's going on leave. It's got to be Christmas. And then sure enough, shit hit the fan and we were all recalled to the ship and I think it was about a week loading stores.
Yeah.
And it was during the time when all the warlords were hijacking the food convoys from the UN.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And Australia actually got heavily involved because 600 soldiers from the 1st Royal Australian Regiment were deployed over there, and it was our job to take all their gear, being tanks, jeeps. No, sorry, not tanks. Armoured personnel carriers, jeeps, equipment, lumber. That's what Tobruk did. And I remember the frantic loading of all the stores, which was going on for about a week. And it was still it was just surreal, thinking, hang on a second, we're all going on Christmas leave. And we actually sailed. We were the first ship out for the Boxing Day Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
Yeah.
And we led the ships, we led all the yachts out. And next minute I remember looking around thinking, Jesus, look at all these yachts around us. I didn't even know what was going on. And it ended
Yeah,
up being
yep.
the Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
And we had schnitzel for lunch. We had
Yep.
fucking crumb the fucking steaks, I think, for lunch.
Which was a steady staple.
Yeah, I fucking loved them. And that Somalia trip then, that deployment was the biggest deployment of Australian forces since Vietnam.
Yep.
It's sort of a little bit forgotten.
Yep.
The whole Somalia thing, like with because East Timor, Afghanistan, and the guys in Afghanistan, man, like and Iraq and they put in the fucking hard yards.
Yep.
The soldiers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Somalia got forgotten, but it was the biggest deployment.
Yep, it was the biggest land lift since Vietnam.
That was it. Yeah.
And I went to the reunion last year for 30 years down in Canberra, which was awesome. And unfortunately, Nick couldn't make it. And that was a bit sad because there was only 3 signalmen there. But
now you got to call me. I hate to say this, Chris. You can't call me Nick, man. You've got to call me Spike, right? I'll call you Barbados.
I was going to call you Nicky J.
Just fucking Spike, fine.
Yeah,
fucking
Spike
reminds me
Jones.
of the old time. Everyone in the Navy was called Spike.
Yeah, well, you're in my phone as Spike Jones, so there you go.
Yeah, very good.
No, we some of those protocols that were developed for seizing weapons and arms control and dealing with foreign militia and all sorts of other intricate army type stuff were indoctrinated into the UN procedures, and they're still there to this day. So Australia played Yep. The army was based at Baidoa, which was inland from Mogadishu. And I just read the book actually. It's called Chasing Bandits in the Badlands.
Oh, who's written that?
I can't remember. But it was all about the soldiers that were out on the deployment in Baidoa.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
What was it called? Give it a plug. What was it called again?
Chasing Bandits in the Badlands.
So if you want to read up about Somalia or the Army's thing in Somalia, get that book.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor shout out, can be if you want to be.
It was pretty full on reading the book. I didn't even realise myself how heavy it was. Like, those guys were getting pot shots taken at them, and there were snipers, and it was just constant dealing with the elements and flies and wayward arms traders and thieves and like bandits. And, we were just alongside providing support. So those guys were really in there, but I think the Army's an extremely professional branch of our military. So they would have handled it. And all the guys were there last year at the reunion, all the Army guys. And they were fantastic guys. It was an amazing day. We had a reception at the Governor General's residence at Yarralumla. So that was really good.
Did he put on any food for you? Or?
Oh, mate, they laid it on. It was awesome.
Yeah, now we'll feel bad for not coming now. I wonder if I'll be around for the 60th year.
I was gutted.
Yeah, I know. I had other shit happening here.
Because you were coming the whole time.
And then I fucking backed out.
A week or two before, you're like, nah, can't do it. Got shit going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, shit happens. Yeah.
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
I didn't think they'd fucking miss me, mate, to be honest.
No, you were an essential crew member, mate.
I don't know. I just thought they'd fucking go, Spike who?
No.
So we left Sydney, Boxing Day, 26th.
Yep.
So look.
1992.
I'd have to say that
Bill Clinton had just been voted in as president.
See, I can't remember any of that shit.
And do you know what? I didn't even know anything about Bill Clinton or anything about US presidency. It didn't even come into my pattern of thinking at all. There was no social media. There was no newspapers. There was nothing. You just kind of knew this guy called Bill, who loved cigars, was voted in as president. And he was going to take over on the 20th of January, 1993, which was when we were still sailing over there, because it actually took us 4 weeks to get there.
Yeah, so we left Sydney Harbour, and then we did, you said it, what's a O-lock, which is...
Yeah, M-lock. We had to do M-lock, which is called minimum level of capability.
Yeah, so just for everyone out there who hasn't been in the Navy, when a ship's been alongside for a long time, they come out of dry dock, they've got to... If they decree that most of the crew has changed over, it's got a new crew. If you're going into a theatre of operations, war like, whether it be Iraq, fucking up in the Middle East or Somalia or probably South China Sea now with the Chinese floating around, you'd go and do an M-lock. So they'd send out the the damage control experts from Fleet Base had come out.
Sea Training Group.
And they would just fucking flog you. And we got flogged between Sydney and Townsville.
4 days.
4 days, no sleep, action stations, fucking...
I reckon I got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm thinking, this is fucked.
Because if you'd be on watch, like in the morning watch or something overnight, and you'd fucking go, as soon as you'd come off watch, they'd pull the fucking damage control exercise.
Yep.
There was no fucking, and then it was your turn to go back and watch. There was no saying, oh, hang on, we were doing that exercise while I was fucking on me break. Nah, bad luck.
You'd have a shower, you'd brush your teeth, you'd crawl into your rack.
And fucking the bells would go off.
And next minute you'd be back on the bridge thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I actually remember falling to sleep, standing up next to the fucking funnel on Tobruk, leaning with my head against the fucking thing.
Yeah, sometimes that was the only way. Did you ever sleep in the flag bins?
No, I never fucking got in the flag bins.
Didn't you? I did. It's fucking awesome. Not on Tobruk, on another ship.
Yeah.
I was on watch. It was so cold. I was freezing. I'm like, where can I warm up? Flag bin. And I crawled in there and I was like, oh, these all stink.
They've probably been in there for 3 years.
Yeah, because actually, remember the flag bin? We only used a small... it just depends on what we were doing. We only really used a small percentage of the flags, really, at any one time.
Yeah, you didn't get them out very often. Yeah.
Out of all our jobs as a signalman, I found the flag hoisting probably the most demanding.
It was good fun, but
if you fucked it up and you didn't clip the flag on and the flag went flying up in the air.
You're in the shit. You're screaming at you.
The flag would just be waving its ass in the breeze while you're standing there scratching your head with everyone looking at you.
With 3 ships behind you waiting to read your fucking signal.
How am I going to get that halyard down?
Your yeoman's on the fucking bridge wing screaming at you. The Kelly scut calling you every name under the sun.
Yep.
And you're looking at it going, oh, fuck.
Yeah, 6 meters up and you're like, fuck, how can I get up there? And somehow we got it down.
Yeah.
Clip the flag on. That only happened once or twice, though.
Yeah, no, I actually quite enjoyed doing the flags, up and down, like snapping them on real quick and shit.
I enjoyed doing fleet work when all the ships were manoeuvring together. That was pretty smart.
Because now we're going back a bit, but remember the fleet work training during signalman school, where we went to that, like, this is state of the art fucking 1990s.
At HMAS Watson.
No, this is at Cerberus, where we turned the little wheels and had little triangles.
Oh yeah, that's
so we go into a dark room. And it was like fucking, in front of us we had like a big board and each ship was like a little light of triangle and then you drive it around there, do signals and shit to do the manoeuvres.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Nick and I were just saying one of the most valuable skills, probably the most valuable skill that we learnt was touch typing.
Yeah, touch typing.
So I've used that every
fucking day of the week, just about, eh?
Yeah. Not every day of the week for me, probably every week, but... yeah, it's pretty impressive to be able to touch type.
I was pretty surprised because when I joined the Navy, I joined as a communications sailor. I was going to join as a radar plotter, but my old man was an underwater controller, and he said to me, look, you won't enjoy doing that.
You're going to be bored shitless. You're going to be looking at a little ball on the screen.
You won't like that. He said, be a communications sailor on the highest pay rank, and they're on the bridge, and they know what's going on.
Yep.
So I said, I don't find if that's what it takes for you to sign the dotted line, then... So that's how I became a communications sailor, which was, in hindsight, a fucking great choice. And I actually was offered ROs as well because my aptitude for Morse code was all right in that first 5 weeks. But what's his name? Butler. Was it Butler? There was a leading SIG who was just a cool bloke who did that 5-week introduction to Morse code. And I changed to...
Was this at comm school?
Yeah. And I did see him out in the fleet.
Yep.
And that...
I think I know who you're talking about.
It was just a real sort of surfy sort of way he spoke and...
Yeah.
What's his fuck? But anyway, he was why I chose signalman. And I was RO the whole way and I just fucking looked at him and he gave us a bit of a spiel for 5 minutes about being a signalman and I thought, fuck, that's for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you going to be an RO?
Yeah, I was an RO right up till...
Which is radio operator.
Yeah, you had to... So you do 5 weeks in comm school where you did aptitude for Morse code. And at the end of that, they would say, okay, signalman or RO, take your pick.
Yep.
Or just RO or fucking whatever. And I was given the choice. And the last sort of little speech he gave us before we had to make a choice, said, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, signalman.
No, I thought signalman was a good job because you're in the upper decks. The stokers were actually jealous the mechanics down below. A lot of them would come up and get the airtime, and they'd be very pale skinned. And
Yeah, I know. We were burnt to a fucking crisp in our sandals.
Yeah, we were cooking eggs on the flag bin lids and doing all sorts of stupid things, as well as being on vigilant watch, I must say. We were the most vigilant. And the stars at night were just something else when you're on a ship.
Yeah. And fucking sleeping with that, the whole ship vibrates, man, and you just like steady rock.
Yeah.
And it's fucking vibrating, and it just fucking puts you off to sleep.
It's like these people who need white noise to go to sleep. Yeah. It's kind of like the rumbling of the...
I just listened to the tinnitus at the fucking lane, sleeping on those ships. Fucking just giving me... They rocks it. Reminds me of my old Navy times, all that fucking tinnitus at night.
Yeah.
Tinnitus or some fucking...
Tinnitus. Yeah. Going over on the Spirit of Tasmania, that was the same. When I went over there a few years ago, it was like, Jesus Christ, this is like good.
Yeah.
I had a great night's sleep.
Yeah, actually, I went on a cruise last year and actually fucking really enjoyed it. And one of the things I did enjoy about it, because Kez, I was with her the last couple of years I was in the Navy. I was living with Kez before we got married, and it was nice for her to sail through somewhere, experience something that I'd always spoken pretty highly about, like being out in the middle of the ocean and that.
Yep.
Definitely different sort of feel on a cruise ship. But
yep. Did she get a sea legs quickly?
Oh, she actually felt sick for a couple of days. I ended up having to say to her, just get out of bed and have a shower. You'll be fucking right.
Yeah.
She'll just get up and get about your business. And yeah, she was good.
Yeah. I don't get seasick on a big ship because you can walk around.
Small boats?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
I'm fucked on a small boat.
Just queasy, and then you just look at the horizon and you feel all right. But on a big ship, you can walk around, you can move around, there's no problems. But on a small ship, you're kind of more confined, like a boat. Yeah. I went out on a whale watching tour in New Zealand a couple of years ago, and yeah, I'm ashamed to say it. I felt
you fucking threw up.
No, I didn't. I felt quite queasy. I actually remember in the Navy, like no one was immune to it. We were on a sail back from Hobart on one of the FFGs, the Newcastle, and everyone's lined up to use the toilet. I don't know why you'd line up to use the toilet to have a spew, but someone was in there. And when he finally came out, it was the saltiest bloke on the ship.
The biggest, saltiest mate, dog, yeah.
With his massive beard, and there was just chunks of all of his breakfast hanging out of his beard, and he just looked like death warmed up. And that's what it can do to you. A rough sea is...
Yeah, look, a lot of times in a big sea, half the ship would be laying in bed.
Oh, and we got back into Sydney.
Grand line was always shorter in fucking...
It was, because you couldn't sit there and eat properly because everything was slipping and sliding.
Everyone was in bed fucking...
Cornflakes ended up all over the floor. Yeah. It was intense, mate. But yeah, that was just what you had to deal with. And
look, I used to actually feel a little bit off for the first 24 hours every time I went to sea, and I felt a bit off for the first day back on land.
Yeah.
So we got through the Townsville fucking work up, and basically, they pretended the ship got shot at or fucking ran aground or we had pirates.
Yeah.
Anything
Any
that
scenario
they perceived as a threat that we could be threatened with in the Somalia fucking area and off Mogadishu and whatnot, we did, and we just fucking banged it out till we were all working together as a team.
Yep.
And so we pulled into Townsville, and I think that was one of the few times when you pulled alongside Townsville that you went straight to the pub.
Yep.
Fucking just about everyone just fucking went to bed, eh?
Yep. You weren't allowed to. We were all told to stay on board. We were only there to load up the stuff.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting the army stuff.
It wasn't happy time. It was load up the army stuff and keep going.
Yeah, and that was fucking straight. I remember going straight to bed and thinking, fucking hell.
Yeah, and remember the whole loading process was disrupted because there was a CHT tank leak.
Hydrogen sulfide leak.
And they had to open all the lower doors up and just ventilate the entire ship and basically just clear it all out before you could go back in there.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was it was in the paper. Our captain had thrown away a chain letter. So he kind of mentioned that in this article that was in the Townsville newspaper. And just more or less just saying it was a bit of bad luck because he threw away this chain letter.
Yeah.
But he was a great captain that we had to go to Somalia with.
So we loaded up the whole bottom deck, what would you call it? The tank deck, which was between the fore and aft doors, so drive on, drive off.
Yep.
It was full of APCs and equipment. The top deck was just absolutely fucking packed.
Yep.
Full of equipment. We had a Sea King helicopter strapped down in the back.
Yep.
And we pulled out of Townsville. I think it was Kim Beazley was the defence minister at the time. got out of his car.
I think so, yeah.
He was a big dude. He was
Yep.
quite robust back then.
Yep.
I don't think he was enjoying the Townsville heat because I remember looking at him and thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking sweat on that dude.
I
If he doesn't
know.
fucking drop dead between here and the fucking, wherever he's going, the podium, fuck, I'll be surprised.
I know. He came up and did a speech, and then he inspected a few troops, and
then fucked off back to his air conditioning. But he was red in the face. He was sweating.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said, yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for fucking coming. See you later.
And Big Paul was our PM, Paul Keating.
Was he there too?
Yeah. Well, no,
he wasn't at Townsville, was he?
Yeah, but again, I didn't even being 19 years old. I actually turned 19 on the way to Somalia.
Yeah, I think I turned 20, 21.
I was 18. I wouldn't even have a clue who the Prime Minister was. It didn't even factor into my train of thought.
Didn't care.
Not at all. And then I remember we left and they were playing Rod Stewart's song, Sailing. We are sailing.
Yeah, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty corny.
I remember pulling out and the gunnery officer busted his leg.
Yep.
He fucking went over, he did his knee.
Yep.
Up forward. They were packing up and he did his knee. So we had to go to fucking helicopter stations, which really sucked because you couldn't smoke ciggies when you're at helicopter stations. And we flew him off. And I remember thinking, oh, well, that's his fucking deployment. Fucking toasted. But he actually got flown over and picked the ship up again in either when we got to Mombasa the first time, or maybe Diego Garcia or something.
Yeah, I can't recall.
I do recall him coming back on.
It was a 4-week sail to get over there. It was a big trip. I'm not sure. It might have been Diego Garcia, which, if you don't know, is a little island in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And that's where they have all these stealth bombers based, the US. And
yeah, what was the word around the campfire then? You could drive in there, we could sail in there on a destroyer or a frigate and basically re-ammo in a couple of hours and fuck off back out at sea.
Yep. It was like a supply stop. And PX stores. I remember the PX stores. These amazing big US PX stores. You could just get everything you'd ever want. You could get knives, jeans, mountain bikes, big model battleship kits.
The big thing was the mag lights. Everyone wanted to get a mag light.
Yeah, the mag light.
So fucking expensive in Australia.
I know.
It was like, got to get a mag light. That's the fucking
It's got to be part of your kit. Yeah, they were awesome. The American PX stores, the 2 best PX stores, 3 I saw, were in Diego Garcia, Guam, and then there was another really good one in Yokosuka in Japan.
When you went on that other trip,
which is where the main US base is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was like, at the time, everyone spoke about, got to get to the PX store, man, because they've got so many fucking bargains.
Got to pick up some rabbits.
Yeah, some rabbits.
Yeah. Souvenirs.
Yeah, fucking hell. So we're in Diego Garcia, and we stopped for a Swimex on the way there too, didn't we?
We did. We stopped at a just somewhere in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Somewhere random. It was like 5.2 kilometres deep. We all had to swim.
And I remember just swimming around, and I actually swam underneath the ship, and I just remember looking at this bottomless expanse of ocean.
Yeah.
Thinking, how cool's this?
I'll show you a photo. I've got a photo of you hanging on to the bottom of the keel.
Really?
Yeah, because Tobruk was a flat ship, it probably would have been 8 or 9 metres underwater.
Yep.
It actually had like a bit of metal sticking out.
Yep.
And I've got a photo of you hanging on to that bit of metal.
Okay, awesome. I want to see it. Yeah. And then the ship's rib, the rigid inflatable boat crew, was just doing laps around the swimmers.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, a sailor on the bridge wing with an SLR.
Yeah, with a rifle.
Keeping an eye out for
Actually, I was
sharks.
telling a mate about that I was having breakfast the other morning and I was chatting about it, and I came home and fucking phones must listen to you, because the very next fucking reel that came up my feed was an American ship having a Swimex shooting at a shark.
Really?
Yeah. After I'd fucking just spent half an hour chatting to him about swimming in the ocean.
Really? Yeah, I believe that. I've had many
fucking spying
like that happen.
So we had a swim, and on the way there wasn't much said about what we were going to be doing in Somalia. Like we didn't really get the news and that. And
well, from the Diego Garcia, we were pretty much told that you had to wear full uniform. If you're on the upper decks, you had to wear a flak jacket and a helmet. Snipers are going to be taking pot shots at us. And I think within the 3rd or 4th day, everyone was just walking around with shorts and sandals on.
Yeah.
So it was nothing like what
because I was in the ship's defence team, so I got to do we were out the back shooting a lot, like doing the practicing.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
you always got the good gigs.
Yeah. No, it wasn't my fault. It was just that was my ability.
You got ship's defence team. You got ship's diver. You got...
Yeah. I was on the boarding party as well, but we never actually boarded anyone.
Yeah. I think you just put your hand up for all those
No,
things.
it's my fucking billet number, man.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Complete. And I remember thinking, I was thinking on the way over there, right? They're giving us this fucking ship's defence team full of quartermaster gunners. That's their fucking bread and butter, man. I'm a signalman. I fucking played with flags and flashing lights. I don't fucking play with guns.
Yep.
I'd shot me 20 rounds at recruit school, which was legally required.
Yep.
So they could send us to war with a gun and say fucking point it down that way and shoot.
Yep. Well, actually, I was a pretty good shot in recruit school. I entered the Waller Cup with the SLR and did pretty well.
Did you?
And I got so good at clay target shooting down at Cerberus, they made that my regular sport.
I quite liked the clay target shooting.
I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome. And I can still, it's easy to do to this day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I quite like doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that for sport, eh? It's probably something I could get into.
Well, up in Cessnock, near where I live, there's a range. So if you come up, we should go and have a look.
Go and have a clay.
I think you got to be a member, but
yeah, you got to fucking have a license.
Yeah, see what happens. Anyway, I'm sure you can do it somewhere if you're not a member. But anyway,
so I'm in the ship's defence team. So I'm sitting down on the Mestex, and they're giving us a fucking crash course in fucking infantry tactics. Right? I'm thinking, what the fuck? This is bullshit, man. This is fucking bullshit. I'm a signalman, man. I remember actually saying to the yeoman, I said, this is fucking bullshit. Fucking yeoman, fucking out there with a gun. I want to fucking do signals. He goes, nah, fucking Spike, that's your fucking billet, man. You got to do it.
Yeah.
So, all right, fucking wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah.
But so they give us these rules of engagement for the ship's defence team, and it was basically, shoot. If someone attacks the ship's company, we were legally allowed to use lethal force to stop them from getting on the ship.
Yep.
Or hurting the ship's company or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. It was pretty risky. Like I say, we were wearing.
So they give me, right, this is how fucking funny it was. The day we pulled into Mogadishu, the first time we fucking backed her ass into the fucking dock, I'm on the ship's defence team and I get told to go down the tank deck with me fucking flak jacket, me SLR, 200 rounds, and this fucking rusty old fucking helmet that probably came from fucking World War One.
Yeah.
And the fucking back, anyway, so I'm standing there.
Remember the arms store?
Yeah.
Remember where they kept all the guns and stuff?
And so I'm standing at the back of the ship, right? This is fucking, and I'm thinking, fuck, what's going, everyone's like thinking, no, we're going to get attacked or something. So anyway, the fucking back stern door starts going down, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be on. And it goes down, and here's fucking half the Australian one RARs laying on their backs asleep.
Yeah.
The Americans are all fucking asleep. And the chief buffer looked at me and the other mate who were down there to guard the back of the ship. He said, fuck off back inside. He said, fuck off back inside and take those fucking helmets off.
Yeah.
Because we look like fucking idiots.
I know. So. We didn't have latest Kevlar. We just had some old tin pot. Old rusty tin pot.
And he couldn't even do the fucking thing up under your chin because it fucking was so rusty.
Yeah, some of the gear was...
he said, fuck off and go back inside. Well, hang on. Ab's just got home from school. I'll pause it. So she... I need to go to Dunny, so we're going to have a quick break.
No worries.
Right, so we had a quick break then. We're back. Daughter just got home from school. And look, just on a side note, Chris, my mate Barbados here has been working in the viticulture?
Viticulture, yeah.
So for the last, I don't know how many years, probably 15 years?
22.
No, I'm talking about how often you've been sending me wine every year.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, probably the last 14 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
You've been sending me... Can we say that on the podcast? Like,
you're not
sure. Get in trouble from the
not at all.
winery. Fucking sending it down. So, and my daughter said the other day, "Is that Chris, the wine dude, coming down?" He said, She said, "Just looking forward to meeting you." To put a face.
Nah, cool. It was very nice.
A face to the mystery man that kept sending bottles of wine every year.
Yeah. Look, wine's just one of those things of love. You just got to share it.
Yeah, I actually like the fucking olives better.
Okay, beautiful.
The fucking olives are good. Right, so we just got to Somalia. We're just fucking back into Mogadishu. And to paint the picture of Mogadishu, we came in stern first to drop the stern door and unload all the equipment into... There was like a big port, and around the outside of it was double-stacked shipping containers. And every, 100 metres, there was like a machine gun nest to say, like some soldiers. Marines were up there.
Jarheads.
And most of the time they were having rock fights with the kids or throwing sticks at each other. And, so we unloaded everything to there. One RAR was going to get into it and fucking drive off to Baidoa. And we were going to go back out to sea. Well, they weren't sure what we were doing.
Mind you, we had to go over there for 4 weeks on a ship, and the soldiers flew over
In Qantas.
with Qantas on the 747s. So that was all right.
Well, but our food was probably better.
I reckon.
We had more fun going over
Have
there.
you ever eaten those MREs, those meals ready to eat, those ration packs?
No.
Not the greatest.
No, I wouldn't be having one of them.
It's fun to have one or two, but I don't think you could eat it.
No, you wouldn't want to be eating it. Look, if you're going to go into a war zone, you want to be having fucking steaks for lunch.
Yeah.
Which is what we were having.
Yeah.
And I might add, sometimes I felt a bit bad because we'd come out, we'd be down the Scranall and you'd have a fucking steak and veggies and shit, and then you'd come up the flag to have a smoke alongside Mogadishu, and these poor Somalians, man, they're starving.
Yeah.
And look, this is pretty brutal, but remember they'd come and pick the rubbish up from the ship, and a truck would pull up like just your standard fucking tipper truck would show up, and we'd throw all the rubbish in the tip, and they would go through it as they were driving out, sort of thing.
Looking for anything that was of
for
value.
Food, whatever fucking value, food, whatever they could get out of the rubbish, it'd be going, they would go through it just as quick as what. So I often sort of looked at that when that was taking place and felt a little bit sorry, like felt a bit bad that I was fucking just had a steak.
Yeah.
And steak and veggies, fucking can of Coke, and a fucking cup of coffee. These poor dudes, man, are just doing it fucking tough. They're going through the rubbish to get the fucking food that I just threw out.
But that's why we were there, because it was a famine. There was a food crisis. So that's why we.
So I do remember feeling a little bit bad for them, just thinking this is fucked.
Yeah.
And if you looked out from Mogadishu across, we'll go through the photos I've got afterwards, and it was just barren, Like it was just it would have been such a fucking nice place. It's on the water. There was a constant breeze.
Yep.
Perfect fucking.
Very historic. There were castles all on the foreshore.
And great fucking weather. Like it could be a real tourist fucking hotspot.
Oh yeah, just wild people, wild African
tribes fighting each other for years and years and years.
Every man, every woman for themselves. It was just like. It was pretty intense. But I remember when we arrived, 4 weeks at sea, apart from that brief stop in Diego Garcia, everyone was on shore. Anyone that could just get off the ship and just, have a bit of like shore time.
Yep.
And we were playing
Mind
footy.
you, we weren't going past the barricades. We weren't talking shore time. We're talking the wharf just outside
within
the
a
ship.
1,000 square metre.
Yeah.
Within a, 2 or 3 acre area.
Yeah. Just off the side of the ship.
Yeah, that's where we were. But I remember I was playing, we were doing AFL kicks, because I used to play a bit of AFL when I was in the Navy. And I wasn't paying attention.
Not very well.
Yeah. Oh, I did all right. I was always ruckman. But I remember running to catch this kick, this ball, and I just looked behind and suddenly felt this intense cutting, burning pain. And I'd run straight into a roll of razor wire. And everyone's run over. What the bloody hell have you done to yourself?
You're not in fucking Kansas anymore, fucking Toto.
Yeah. And I'm like, out. Like, what have I done? And I looked down, blood all down my legs, and I had to get basically unraveled from this razor wire. I think I was just trying to impress the older fellas of how I could catch and how I could kick.
Prowess.
Yeah, and got taken up to the sick bay and got all cleaned up, and that was my introduction to Mogadishu, running into a roll of razor wire.
Mate, if you were American, you would have got a Purple Heart out of that.
Yeah.
Because you were fucking injured in a war zone.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Area of operations. That's right.
And just a side note, if it was decreed that because we're in like a war-like operation, we were earning tax-free money.
Yep.
And we got $25 a day every time we were within 12 nautical miles.
Which was good money then. If you're there for 4 months, you could save some money.
Yeah, so we're getting paid extra money. So alongside, we were stern in, unloaded all the army. And then we were, I think we were starboard, so we turned around starboard side to the wharf.
Yep.
And there was talk, then Jarvis Bay came over and dropped some stuff off.
Yep, good old JB.
And
those poor bastards had to sail over.
Drop the shit off and sail straight back again,
Yep.
They basically dropped the stuff off. I don't think they even went to anchor. They just fucking basically dropped their shit off.
No, they didn't.
And off they went.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they might have stopped somewhere in Southeast Asia on the way back, maybe Singapore. I can't remember. I'd have to ask a friend who was on the ship. But
yeah, so they just basically spent 3 months at sea to deliver a heap of stuff and then fucked off.
And then they had to come back. Remember, they had to come back to pick up.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So We were the lucky ones. We
were lucky because I think there was talk that we were going to be sent back, but then I think they worked out that they needed to use us as a communication hub for
hospital ship
and R&R.
R&R.
Because if the troops came back from Baidoa to Mogadishu, there was nowhere for them to stay, so they came and stayed on the ship.
Yep.
So, we were basically there sort of like fucking headquarters, could you call it?
Exactly. It was. We were the headquarters ship, because the ship could house 600 soldiers, there was so much room down below. Yeah. So they had to utilise all that stuff, and we did. It was amazing. It was just a complete buzz of activity for all those months we were there.
Yeah, and
helicopters coming and going, and foreign ships everywhere, and multinational navies, and it was just amazing. Harrier jump jets taken off, and it was just like, whoa, this is like, this is the real deal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, eh? Yeah. And for even when I was in the ships, for all that time, you didn't really fucking think you were in a war zone, eh? And before we went, when we got told we were going to a war, like they called it a war zone operational service, we were fucking stoked. Everyone was like so fucking happy to be going into a war zone.
Well, just going to do something for good cause, basically. Yeah, going to help other people. Yeah, it was a humanitarian mission, really, at the end of the day.
But we were all pretty happy to be getting that sort of deployment.
Yeah. Did you ever go into the University of Mogadishu?
No.
Remember that?
No, I never went. I went on the magical mystery tour of Mogadishu.
Yeah. Remember when the people who were lucky enough to go into the University of Mogadishu, we got these shirts made up, and it said on the shirt, "I got stoned at the University of Mogadishu." And it wasn't for that reason of getting stoned. It was because all these Somali natives were just lobbing these massive rocks and boulders at all the multinational APCs and Humvees and trucks that were coming in and out of the university district, and that's why they got that shirt made up, which I thought was hilarious.
Did you go in there?
No.
Yeah, I didn't get to go. I remember going on. Remember they were doing because we spent so much time alongside Mogadishu, and you weren't let off the boat. People started to get a little bit stir crazy.
Yeah.
So they come up with this idea that they'd take us for a tour through Mogadishu. So,
you did one of those tours.
Yeah, because they canned it after our tour, because we got on the truck, the army truck, and anyway, so we headed off into Mogadishu. We were in like a Unimog. Yeah, it was probably 20 of us sitting in the back of it, and then we had a Jeep, I think, in front with a machine gun, with an escort. Yep, behind them and behind us.
Yep.
And I've got photos of it, and we went into the fucking marketplace on a fucking tour of the war-torn fucking Mogadishu. I know whoever fucking came up with that idea probably was told, that's probably not the best thing to do.
Yeah. Well, it was dangerous, mate. It was a Wild West. It's like you've seen that movie Black Hawk Down. Well, we were there like a couple of months before that happened.
So we head off through the marketplace, and the front vehicle got separated by the Somalians, like they're all gathering around, like between the truck, and the army guys were getting quite fucking they got a little bit elevated. They were thinking, fuck, this our little fucking Sunday afternoon drives about to turn into a shit fight. Yeah. And all we had were pickaxe handles to fucking whack them, their hands to get them, were trying to get in the truck. I didn't hit anyone because they weren't actually trying to get in the truck. Yeah. So and then we ended up getting back there, and I think they cancelled those. Yeah.
And you had to suit up too. You had to put on the flak jacket and the helmet and the army, the camo.
So that was cool. And I also went on a seeking helicopter flight over Mogadishu. Yep. Did you get a chance to do that?
Well, I cross-decked over to the USS Tripoli.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was my one and only time I've ever been on a chopper. I went over to the USS Tripoli and met up with the signalling crew from the Tripoli, which was a huge, big, you could call it an aircraft carrier, but it was more like a amphibious.
Helicopter slant. Yeah. It didn't have it had a dock at the back where the hovercraft came out of. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the hovercraft were coming and going, and they had Harrier jump jets coming and going as well. Yeah. So that was pretty impressive. But that was great. I actually scored a pretty impressive souvenir from that trip, and it's called an American battle ensign, which is a American flag that's it's probably about 8 meters long. So
they give it to you as a gift?
Yeah. Well, I took some stuff over. There was people giving me stuff to swap, and that was one of the things that I ended up with and brought back. So kept it for myself.
And how long were you on Tripoli for?
Probably about 4 or 5 hours. So then flew back. That was good.
Yeah, because there was a lot of multinational ships that because you could only fit 1 or 2 ships in Mogadishu, I think, the actual harbour.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're all sitting at anchor, and look, for stuff to do, they would fucking swap around and shit. But anyway, I got to go on a helicopter flight. I don't know how it came about, but 1 minute I'm fucking up on the bridge, and the next minute I'm in the back of a fucking Sea King helicopter heading into fucking Mogadishu.
Oh, well, that's what happens, mate.
And I actually distinctly remember, and you know how they from my memory, how they have those side doors?
Yep.
And I remember sitting on the seat just inside the door, strapped in with a fucking lifeline thingy on a harness. And as we went over the land, the dude, I don't know, some fucking machine gun, M60 or some shit, he actually fucking cocked. He locked and loaded. And got on it.
Yep.
And was watching.
Yep.
And I look back now and think, I was fucking completely oblivious to the risk of getting shot out of the fucking sky.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just sitting on this helicopter thinking, oh, cool, man, I'm flying over Mogadishu. How cool, how fucking good's this? Hey, he's just fucking cocked the machine gun.
Exactly.
And I'm not even thinking, well, this is getting a bit serious here. He's fucking...
Yeah, we were just sailors. Like, we weren't soldiers. We didn't know any of that rules of engagement, or we didn't know any of that kind of stuff. We were just sailors.
Yeah.
Which was still a great job, but like...
Yeah, so I'm sitting on the Sea King helicopter, completely oblivious to the fact that these guys have been known to fucking shoot down helicopters, with their fucking RPGs and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I think every time we went back over the water, he did whatever he did to the fucking machine gun, unloaded it, and then if we went back over land, it was fucking locked and loaded.
Yeah. And
I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we went on this like half an hour flight and then back to the ship, and that was it. Which I'm stoked that I did it.
Oh yeah, that would have been an amazing experience, and it was a big helicopter too.
Yeah. That was probably
massive.
The only other time I've been on a helicopter. I can't talk about that because I'd have to mention the secret government society that I currently work for, which I don't talk about. So I'm not going to mention the other segment. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Doing that. Yeah. So and that was life, wasn't it? There was, like you said, helicopters coming and going. There was boats coming and going.
Yep. It was a buzz of activity. And then once all the unloading was done, we went out. Man, there probably would have been 30 ships there, and I reckon there was probably at least 15, 16 countries.
And there was probably 20, 30 ships at anchor the whole time Somalia was happening. Because all the other countries were doing what we did.
Yep.
And they were like their communications base, their fucking...
Yep.
They're sort of like where they came back to.
They'd pull up, drop off their groceries, go back out to anchor and wait. And then, I remember doing the fleet works, and we did a replenishment at sea with the USS Horn and the HMCS Preserver. Yep. And we ended up getting this load of Moosehead beer from Canada.
That's right.
Which was a staple beer for the rest of our time.
Yeah.
Remember that? We used to be able to get a beer at sea. It was called 2 cans per man per day perhaps.
But we had a guy in our mess deck that if you weren't drinking your 2 cans, he was begging you for. He was happy to take your 2 cans.
Well, normally they'd crack them. But if they were in a rush, they wouldn't crack them.
Sorry, Taz, but you used to take. If I wasn't drinking me beerish, I'd buy it for you and you put it in your locker, like an open. You drink it warm.
Well, me and Wellesley, we actually scored a whole heap of it, VB and Moosehead, and we just put some aside. And when we got back to Singapore after the deployment, we went into our hotel room and filled a bathtub up with beer. Yeah, that was our. I
don't want to know what you and Wellesley were doing in that bathtub full of fucking beer in Barbados. You keep that story to yourself.
Yeah. So it was pretty impressive. We did fleet workups, we did fleet manoeuvres, we worked with all these other navies, and I remember it was my job. The yeoman told me when we arrived in Mogadishu, he said, Barbados, I want to know every single ship and every single name and every single nationality and every single navy that's here. So for the first couple of days, that was mine. Probably your job, but you're probably off doing
ship's defence team training.
Ship's defence team.
I was probably off bitching about fucking being taught fucking crash course infantry tactics and get told shoot to kill, man. I'm thinking, no, I'm a fucking signalman, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter, man.
I'm up there doing visual recognition, and you're down playing army man.
I'm playing fucking army man. Wishing I was up there fucking doing visual recognition.
Yeah, that's what we were trained for.
Hell. Unbelievable. So we spent about 4 months?
Yeah, it was just over 4 months in the area of operations, and then we went to, our main job was doing supply runs to Mombasa in Kenya.
Yeah, we had some good fucking runs.
Yeah.
And look, I think we had 9 days off all up in that 6 months.
Yep.
In Mombasa.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was it? It was a 2-day sail. 2 or 3 day sail.
Can't quite recall, but it wasn't
nights,
too far. And we'd go alongside, and then it was just the same thing. It was load up, lumber, fuel, supplies, provisions.
Yep.
People were able to take leave. Some of us went on safari.
Well, I think remember the skipper said he would let us have time off if we went on safari because he knew if you just let us go ashore, we'd just get on the piss and not actually go and see Africa.
Yeah, exactly. It was Savo National Park. We went on the safari. Remember?
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I was fucking crook as rook with those couple of days with a sore throat. But anyway,
we're cruising along in this safari van when you could sit on the top. We just about saw every animal that you could see, and we're driving in to this like clump of trees. That's what it looked like from a couple of kilometres out, and it ended up being the Sheraton. It was a Sheraton hotel. Remember that? Yeah. It came and we drove into this courtyard surrounded by trees, and it was just this amazing African hotel out in the savannah of Africa,
in the boonies.
Yeah, that was a surreal moment as well. And we all thought we were unreal. We're walking around with our US Marine desert cam pants on, and
I was not wearing a pair of those. I don't give a fuck what you say.
I was. Me and Wellesley did.
You and Wellesley fucking were wearing them. Yeah. I wasn't.
Any chance we had to wear gear, any kind of cool gear, army gear, we wore.
I thought they were fucking cool.
We mixed and matched. That's what we did.
So you had some good fucking runs in Mombasa, eh?
Oh yeah. Remember the Hard Rock Cafe?
Yeah. That's right. I tell that story a lot because we had fucking steak in the Hard Rock Cafe.
Good steak. Good African buffalo steak.
I don't think it didn't taste like beef, eh?
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't think it was beef.
It's probably buffalo.
It's probably buffalo.
Probably something
I reckon
a bit different.
Fucking Impala or something. I don't know.
Tame Impala, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Now, I remember being in the toilets of the Hard Rock Cafe, 19-year-old, and this African guy walked in and he asked me if I wanted some of the white lady. And I'm like, no, mate, I don't want any of your white lady. Leave me alone.
So, the Hard Rock Cafe was a hangout, and then the Florida nightclub.
Yep, that's right.
Love the Florida nightclub.
The Florida nightclub was like stepping back into some James Bond movie scene from the 1960s, 70s, playing roulette and blackjack.
Yeah, because it was a local casino. And look, we were young, and what's that fucking, I'm just thinking that fucking Guns N' Roses song, We Were Young.
Oh, yeah, Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die, yeah. Anyway, so we were so fucking, compared to the rest of the population in Mombasa, we stepped off that ship with so much fucking money.
Yeah.
Like we would change... Because we'd been at sea for fucking months.
Yeah.
So you'd change $150, $200 Australian.
Kenyan shillings, remember?
Kenyan shillings.
It was shillings.
And we were fucking loaded. So we're sitting in the Florida nightclub at the casino, fucking high rollers, mate.
Yep.
Bringing us beers and we're fucking throwing money around like it's going out of style.
Yep. It was unreal. It was such a good spot. Everyone and every army and every nationality went there. It was the place to be. And, the Kenyan shillings were just out of this world.
Remember that time we were sailing out of Mombasa and we're on the flag deck and we had the fucking open pipe down to the bridge.
Yep.
And someone fucking says to me, hey, Spike, go up there and call out the fucking Florida nightclub as we go past it, mate. So I fucking get up there. Bridge flagged up! Red 25 Florida nightclub at the top of my lungs, and they fucking panicked. Thought we were going to fucking hit something. I got my ass chewed for doing that.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of part 1 of my chat with Chris, and I got my ass chewed for bloody yelling out the Florida nightclub. Seemed like a fucking perfectly reasonable idea at the time. I don't know if the person who told me to do it was taking the piss and knew that I wasn't fucking shouldn't have done it or something. But I think from memory they gave a bit of a fright because I thought they were going to hit something. Because I had a little bit was pretty loud, going on top of the head. So, didn't get me leave cancelled that time. Had me leave cancelled for a couple of other things, but we didn't have any leave, so they couldn't really cancel it. So got told to not be a dickhead. So come back next week to listen to the rest of the story from me and Chris in our time together in the Navy. If you want to send me an email, send it to info@eastcoastaverages.com. If you want to look at my website, guess what? eastcoastaverages.com. There's some hats for sale. They're pretty cool hats. All the kids are wearing them. You go to my Facebook page, guess what that's called? East Coast Averages. Fucking that's it. Not .com. It's fucking East Coast Averages. There's a little fucking picture there of some dude wearing me hat. Cute little dude. All the kids are wearing them. Get yourself a fucking hat. Just buy them. Come back next week, hear the rest of the story about Chris and I when we were in the Navy. Yeah, fuck. Everyone was buying Kenya Gold.
Kenya Gold, come on down.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't particularly like the spirits, eh?
Nah, I wasn't a big spirit drinker.
We should talk about the time one of our colleagues drank a bottle of Kenyan Gold.
Yeah, then got promoted.
Fucking 2 weeks later. But like, we thought you'd fucking been killed.
Well, mate, you possibly saved my life that day, because if I hadn't have been...
Me and Stubbo, yeah, we probably fucking did.
If I hadn't have been...
Yeah, I'm fucking claiming it.
Not Stubbo.
Wasn't it Stubbo? He came down the fucking chute with me.
No, Wellesley, Stubbo stayed at home, remember?
We go to... Yeah, so come back next week and find out what happened to our Oppo when he drank a bottle of Kenya Gold. And I'll tell you the story. You can hear the story about how I saved Chris's life. I don't know if I really saved his life, but fuck it. I'm going to claim it as a life saved. In the meantime, go back and have a listen to me back catalogue. There's 18 episodes out now. They're all worth having a listen to, I think. I really appreciate everybody's support. And like I said, if you get time, can you press subscribe, hit like, leave a rating if you liked it, or a comment or whatever. Tell your friends about it, put it on your socials, and come back next week and hear the rest of our story.